All right, this set of notes will be on page 55 and will help us find area of triangles when we have non-right triangles or we don't know the height of our triangle. So let's go to page 55. All right, so we have this triangle ABC, and one thing that we will discuss in class or have discussed in class is that we always label the side across from the angle or the opposite side from the angle as a lowercase letter of the same letter. So if this is angle A, then the side across from A is little a. Or capital B, the side across from capital B is lowercase b. And the same with angle C, so the side across from that would be lowercase c. All right, so remembering that when we want to find the area of a triangle, if we know the height, then we will use 1/2 times the base times the height. But in this scenario, we do not know the height. So we're going to talk about how we can use trig to help us find that height. So we're going to assume that anytime we know an angle, that angle is going to be our A. So we will always label the angle that we know as A. And then, of course, this is our height, but we're assuming that we don't know the height, so we're going to have to find it. And we would know this side C. So thinking about our trig ratios, if we know side C and we want to find the height, well then we've got the height is our opposite side and the C would be our hypotenuse. So we can use opposite and hypotenuse to help us find this side. So if our angle A is the angle we know, then we would use sine of A would equal h over c, or height over c. And remember that in order to solve that, we would cross multiply and we would end up with our h would equal c times the sine of angle A. So this information, this h times c, sine, h equals c times sine of A, is the same as this h in our formula for area. So we could go ahead and replace this h with c times the sine of A, and that gives us our law of sine area formula, which is 1/2 times b times c times the sine of angle A. Okay, so this is our official law of sine formula for finding area. And it just came from our basic formula for finding areas. Okay, so it's nothing fancy other than we didn't know the height, and so we used our sine ratio to help us find the height. Okay, so let's do an example. So in this triangle, we know this angle 112, we know one side's 6, and we know one side is 5. I am going to start by labeling our angle that we know as A. So 112 is our angle A. And then it really doesn't matter which way we label the other two sides, B and C. So across from where I labeled C is the 6. So our little c is going to be a 6, and across from the B is our 5. So this B is going to be 5. All right. So in order to use our law of sine area formula, we need to have 1/2. So our area equals 1/2 B which is 5, times C, which is 6, times the sine of our angle A, which is 112 degrees. So then we can go ahead and put that into our calculator. So we have 1/2, 1 divided by 2 times 5 times 6 times our sine of 112. And since I want to get a decimal answer, I'm going to go ahead and put a decimal in there. And let's see what it gives us. So we end up with approximately, our area is approximately 13.9. So remember that when we are using this formula, we have an angle, and we have the two sides that are adjacent to that angle. Notice that both the side that is 6 and the side that is 5 are both adjacent to our angle that is 112. So that is important for us in order to be able to use this formula. We need to know the two sides that are adjacent to the angle.